I couldn't believe that I was still seeing people really staking their entire reputations on the idea that cancel culture was a hoax or didn't even happen. And I can tell you from working on campuses this long, it didn't just happen. It's the kind of thing they're going to be studying in 50 to 100 years, just like we study the Red Scare today. So I was finally like, okay, that's it. I've had it. Like, I'm going to put this all in one book. I'm going to make three primary points. One, cancel culture is real. It's happening on a historic scale. And by the way, we take on both left and right, which is very important to a lot of people. The middle part is basically about reconceptualizing how you think about cancel culture. To think about it as only the most extreme way of winning arguments without winning arguments. That essentially, rather than persuade somebody, we've learned this very junior high school-like tactic, which, by the way, I argue that it does in some ways come from junior high school, but I can get into that later. To just scare people out of disagreeing with you or ruin their lives if they do. And the third part is us beginning the process of trying to find a way out of this madness and trying to really make people understand that cancel culture isn't just about the more than 1,000 professors who have been targeted, for example. It's about what it does to trust and expertise. Because if you see that, for example, Carol Hooven at Harvard, who was started to be forced out by initially by a DEI administrator for going on Fox News to talk about her book, and she said she made the point that we should be kind to transgender people, we should be we should use their pronouns, but as the author of a book on testosterone and an evolutionary biologist, we have to recognize that biological sex is real and it matters scientifically, and that led to a whole campaign against her at Harvard. Now, and she got extremely depressed, and she's now leaving Harvard. Now, that's sad all by itself. That's cancel culture. That's illiberal all by itself. But what does that do to people's faith and expertise on this topic? Because the public isn't stupid. And looking at a situation where, like, even at Harvard, someone's making, a very modest point that nobody disagreed with up until very recently can be targeted and forced out of their job. Why should I believe anybody on this topic anymore? Because I now know that to say anything other than the approved line can get you canceled even at Harvard. So I think people really need to get that cancel culture is much more devastating to our shared world of facts than people understand.